8 lessons to live by. Number 1, remind yourself to see those things we've taught ourselves not to see. The things that don't directly correlate to money or status or ascension up some social hierarchy. Underneath those things are what keeps us alive. Keep our souls lit, our eyes open, our days meaningful. We don't think we need music to invigorate the soul. We don't think we need wind on our face or sand on our feet. We don't think we need to shut the world off so we can hear ourselves think. No, we fall into the trap of believing that beautiful is a luxury. It's not. It's why we're here. And it's not about being anti-money or status or whatever your goals are. But it is about realizing that those things without beauty and art and nature and calm are empty. They're a plane without wings, lungs without air. The things we have taught ourselves not to see are the things we need above all else. Number 2, you are stronger than you think you are. You are made to endure, to pave a path, find a way, rise to the occasion. And we know this when it's easy, but we forget when it's not. When the world feels stacked against us. When you're writing things no one reads, saying things no one hears, making things no one sees. When you know you have somewhere to go but aren't sure where that is, know you need to evolve into something but have no idea what. This is when you need to know that you have everything you need. It's not about finding new pieces. It's about arranging the ones in your hand. Like smoke expands to fill any room, your potential can expand to conquer any obstacle. You are stronger than you think you are. Number 3, some things are beyond our control. But being ready for the opportunity when it comes our way is very much in our control. And maybe it takes a day, a month, a year, longer. You can't control that. You can't control the path of that firefly, but when it lights up and comes your way, you can have the jar ready and the lid off. You can be well read, well prepared, rehearsed to the point of confidence, reliant on repetition and not hope. No endeavor is a coin flip when you use a double-headed quarter. One of the most valuable questions I've learned to ask is when and where in my life can I create those magic coins? Number 4, we are at our best when we are moving towards something. Inaction has an opportunity cost that is more expensive than anyone wants to pay. Places I haven't gone, risks I haven't taken. They're the loss. The dragon has the gold for a reason, and to avoid the former is to forfeit the latter. If we are not growing, we are dying. So as Emerson suggested, find a star to hitch your wagon to. And even when the world forces detours upon you, inserts roadblocks, or temporarily covers that star up altogether, remember that it's still there, shining as bright as it ever has, waiting for you to reorient yourself, remember who you are, and carry on. Number 5, when it's your fault, you are in control. I used to hide behind the notion that bad grades were because of a bad teacher, that missing the promotion was because of the boss, that an inability to influence was because the world didn't understand. And to whatever degree these things may be true, We win when we dial them back to zero. If your bad grades are completely your fault, you'll better prepare. If your lack of promotion falls entirely on your shoulders, you'll find ways to add more value. If your inability to influence is because you're missing the mark, you'll stop projecting yourself onto the world and start asking the world how you can serve. Before it can become an opportunity, it has to first become your responsibility. To grow, we have to plant roots where it hurts, where the ego lives, where we have to first be humbled. Then we can accelerate vertically. Number 6, if it means something to you, there is value. It's not stupid. Just because they don't get it doesn't mean that they shouldn't. Just because it's not happening today doesn't mean it won't be tomorrow. Life is a lot like 6-year-olds playing soccer. Everyone chases the ball because that's what we're told. That's where the attention is. That's what's flashy. But as an outside midfielder most of my life, I know that some of the most potent attack sequences manifest on the outside of the field and then are recentered. To run up the sideline without the ball is to see what happens before it happens. The magic is created in the empty space before it translates to the high traffic, high reward areas. And just because you're metaphorically running without the ball doesn't mean you're not in prime position to have monumental impact. You're not reacting, you are creating. Don't forget that. Number 7, nothing is mandatory. Everything we do, we choose. Where we are, who we're with, how we spend our time. And it's easy to look around and think we are programmed to exist between specific parameters. We're not. And often we don't see until life forces a change upon us how much flexibility we have in life. Now sure, change obviously brings with it its challenges. New questions, uncertainties, new places to map and people to meet, but as Mark Manson says, there is no problem-free life. No, the beauty of life is that we get to choose which problems we will spend our time solving. Problems to solve are what make life meaningful. So if you're looking around and not seeing what you want to see, you're not stuck. You're simply solving the wrong problems. Perhaps it's time to find some new ones. And number 8, tomorrow is not your answer. It's your problem. Tomorrow is your excuse to wait, to hold off, to rationalize stagnation. Tomorrow is the status quo. It's a fresh, new coat of paint on a car that won't run, or a new roof on a house with a cracked foundation. Tomorrow can only tell the story that is acted out today. That means without stepping into the limelight right now, in the immediate, in the present, there will be no story. Because stories aren't made tomorrow, they're made now. So let's stop expecting the messenger to be the author. And let's take fate into our own hands, write our own headlines during the only moment we'll ever have, the present one. So let the rest of the world dance around tomorrow. That's not where your mind should be. You should be working on the melody of today. It's in our moments of greatest distress that we must find it within ourselves to see that which is difficult to see. It's when things seem hopeless, tragic. It's when we feel lost that we forget a universal truth. Behind every struggle, no matter how big, there is a win, an answer, an opportunity for recreation. See, it's very easy in the midst of a storm to forget that it will pass. The dark skies block out the light, so we forget the warmth of the sun. And the wind and the rain, it forces us inside, so we forget the perfection that is simply breathing in the cool air. We forget that all storms have one thing in common. They come and they go. They are temporary. And what they leave is hope, answers, the clearest, brightest of skies. See, I'm not asking you to see something that's not there. I'm not asking you to imagine or live a life of make-believe. I'm reminding you of what you already know exists behind those clouds. Better days, your solution, your victory. I'm asking you to look to precedent. Because every day leading up to now has had its adversity. The road to the current moment was paved with trials and tribulations, and what you've done every day until now is figure it out. Find a way. How many times do you have to prove to yourself that you have what it takes, that you'll be okay, that within the depths of your soul are answers to any and every problem that you face? I know things aren't easy. Maybe they even seem bigger, scarier, more overwhelming than they ever have. But as adversity grows, so does your resilience. And I'm not sitting here giving you something new or an answer you didn't already possess. All I'm doing is reminding you how incredible you are, how much you've already overcome, and how capable you are of conquering whatever is next. Sometimes in life, the difference between okay and great, or stagnation and growth, it is only a change in perspective. It is how you look at the world and your place within it, that little voice in your head reminding you that you are capable of things beyond your current comprehension, that your perceived best is a fraction of what you're capable of. Reality is manageable. It's always manageable. It's the fear that if we let it, will be our demise. And life's too short to bow down to a monster that doesn't even really exist, that we created ourselves. So let's commit to being the ones who find calm when others panic, and see opportunity where others see hardship, and see what can be gained when others remain fixated on what has been lost. I love to simplify, to find clarity in that which appears overwhelming and complex. So here's the formula. You minus negative thoughts equals infinite possibility. You are capable of handling anything life throws at you. In terms of potential and resources and ability, you can overcome. The only thing that can make a situation debilitating or permanent is you deciding it so. Therefore, the obstacle will never be life. It will be your thoughts about life. Your thoughts determine how you react. That is reality. Is it a lost job or an opportunity to begin again, to grow, to fall in love with something you've always wanted to do? Is it lost time, loneliness, tragic seclusion, or a chance to write chapter 1 of your book, scene 1 of your movie, lay the first brick of what will become your empire. I've been sad and I've been happy. And I've been broke and I've had money. And I've felt alone and I've felt loved. But through it all, every step, every trial, every tribulation, I've come out stronger, battle-hardened, cognizant of the fact that happiness was a choice. Money is reacquirable, that some people go, but the ones that matter stay a part of you forever. Life is a gift. It's a gift when things are hard. It is a gift when they are easy. It is always a gift. So don't let your losses define you. If you get back up, it is nothing short of a victory. Armor that you now wear as you make your way into the world. A world that can push you down, but it certainly can't keep you there. Not if you don't let it. For your mind, your body, your soul, made of the same elements that surround you, the same stars comprising the universe, they have equipped you to weather any storm, outlast any earthly dilemma, do anything and be anyone. Never forget that. Never forget who you are. There are always footsteps behind you. It's an idea I talked about years ago. And it stemmed from a quote from Mark Cuban. He says, look, you need to be working 24/7 like there is someone constantly around the clock working to take it all away from you. And I strongly believe in that notion. I think there's a lot of value in that understanding. It's a way to help you level up, right? Because the idea is, in life, in the world we live in, there is no cap on what we can be doing. And short of driving yourself crazy, there's value in the understanding that the place you arrived at, the place you said, all right, I did my best, that was my limit, that was the peak. Maybe it was extraordinary, maybe it was progress, but it was not your maximum. Why? Because that word means nothing. When used in the context of human potential, it's an infinite thing. You can't put a finger on someone's maximum, on someone's limit, on someone reaching their full potential. It's an arbitrary number, right? And so that was the idea. Long story short, I was running and I would run around the Charles River in Boston, and I would really excite myself. I would get worked up and force myself to dig deep when I saw, someone run by me, or even the idea that someone would. It helped me, when I wasn't feeling my best, to suck it up and push myself. And so there was value there, no question. But I had an epiphany the other day as I was, you guessed it, running. And it's related to the concept in The Sound of Footsteps. And I'm not sure if it's a parallel idea, maybe a progression, or maybe it's the result of 5 years, 6 years since writing that, immersed in the world of entrepreneurship and speaking and being a creator on YouTube and on these platforms. You learn a lot about yourself. And this particular situation helped me realize that. I was doing a 9-mile run down A1A in South Florida, it's one of my favorite places to run because it's just straight shot, straight up. You don't have to think. You can just one foot in front of the other and, enjoy the run. And as I've been, working my way back into running shape, coming back from an injury, it's been beautiful. And so I'm a few miles into this run, and sure enough, someone blows by me. probably going at a 5.5, 6 minute pace, right? And my first instinct is, whoa, Ed, time to level up, man. What are you doing? Like, that's not even close, right? Sound of footsteps. Someone was behind you, someone's working harder, someone's going faster, there they go, here you are. And then I had this realization, a very common sense realization. You're gonna see that dude and pass him a mile up the road. Because unless he is an incredible athlete, that's not maintainable. You are going at a slower pace, but you're going further, and you will pass him. And then I had a second thought, which was, who the hell cares? The sort of old notion that the speed of others is some way related to you can be troubling, right? And again, there is no right or wrong, left or right, good or bad. The world exists in this gray area. And I believe that if you can find value in something, utilize it. If you're someone that gets motivated by that type of thing, sometimes I am, a lot of the time I am, green light, use it. But I think that highlighted a trap that I've fallen into, that I think a lot of us fall into. We hear those footsteps. We see that 6 minute miler go by us. And we think it's somehow reflective of us in our journey, or correlated to where we're going, or says something about us, when in reality, it means nothing. Like there's a it's comical that I'm sitting here even talking about it right now, right? Because the relationship between my goals and his goals are none. But that's the world we live in, right? That's the social media world of highlight reels, of seeing people's 6 minute sprints and saying, oh my God, I'm running it at 8.5. It's like, yeah, well, 1, he went 1 mile, you're going 9. 2, you're running different races. 3, your finish line is all that matters. And it really hit home, because in this maybe 6-year stretch, the biggest mistakes I've made, and I never shy away from admitting this, they're when I had that sense of panic and anxiety due to other people talking about things that work for them, their success. This is the way to get what you want. Look what I did. Look how I achieve A, B, and C. You want the answer? Here's the answer. And I'd look in the mirror and I'd think, well, hell, I'm going slower than this. I'm not there, right? I'm not doing what they're doing. And they had a little bit of success there, right? Better change my plan, better pivot, better integrate, their steps, their processes. And that's always when I get in trouble. That's always when I have to take a step back and say, Ed, what are you? This is not you. You had a plan. You had a finish line. You had an idea that you believed in. And now what are you doing? Right? And I'd have to reel it back in. And this happened a few times, right? Because sometimes it's not as obvious. Sometimes you forget your value, what you're giving to the world and what you love to do, right? If you're going down a highway, there are a lot of exits. There are a lot of people saying this is where you need to get off. This is where, your answers are. This is what he or she did, and look how successful they are. That's the exact same thing as looking at that guy speeding down A1A at a 6 minute mile pace and feeling any level of inadequacy. What he's doing and where he's going is not what you're doing, and it's not where you're going. And so I had a lot of time to have a conversation with myself, but that's exactly what I did. I had a tough conversation with myself. You've changed. You've changed since you wrote that speech, and that's a beautiful thing because, my friend, if you're not changing, you're not learning, you are dying. And there's a time and a place, again, for everything. Yeah, if you're looking around and everyone's working harder than you, hey, maybe that's an indicator. Maybe you need to ask yourself the question, what am I capable of? Am I pushing myself in that direction? Or have I accepted some type of mediocrity? Right? But they are not you. And in today's world, I want you to remember that. Because most of our interactions, they are digital. They are curated snippets, pictures, videos, concepts that are just not reflective of reality, especially online, right? I've been able to see the curtain pulled back on so many things, and it's like nothing is what it seems to be. People are not who they claim they are, right? And this is not some conspiracy that like there's all these strings being pulled in the background, but what I'm saying is no one presents life as it is. They present life as they want it to be seen. And the difference between those two things is substantial, I promise. And so when you are looking to your left, you're looking to your right, you're comparing it to yourself, and you feel any level of inadequacy, remember that you are going down a road that is valuable, that means something to you. You have your finish line and you're going to get there. Don't be misguided, by these short half-mile sprints or whatever they are. Don't be misguided. Don't be distracted by anything but where you're going. Because I promise, if you just move forward, if you believe in your pursuit and trust yourself to get there, if you're willing to adapt and grow, if you're aware enough to understand that you'll make mistakes, you'll learn from them, and you'll pick up the pieces, the only adversary you have is yourself. Nothing else matters. So let's get that finish line.